Okay, so we're good to go. Does anyone want to read theirs first?
I can start with mine. So the title of mine is Mall Owners Go on Defense to Rescue Aeropostale. It was back in September 27, 2016. And I wrote, recently, two major corporations were part of an auction where they won the opportunity to purchase the retailer Aeropostale. However, other shopping center landlords came to Aeropostale's aid to preserve the business. Aeropostale filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in May and later faced the threat of liquidation. Despite this risk, Aeropostale owners are creating a new turnaround strategy to keep their business open.
Okay, that was good. Michelle, you want to read yours next, I guess?
I'm just going to pass because I did the totally different topic because I belong to a different group in another class and I was working on them. And so I did a different one. I did group 8's topic. Random.
Okay.
Dang it.
I have one, but I have one for someone in group 8 if they're listening.
Okay. Will says, one second. Okay. His article is the crude decline brings rise of quickie bankruptcy energy journal. And it says this article talks about how there has been a large and consistent decline in crude oil. This has caused many of the oil companies to lose large amounts of money. It explains how the companies are talking with creditors to slash millions of dollars of debt in Chapter 11 so that when the crude price of oil eventually rises, they will be ready to go.
Perfect.
Okay, that was a good one. Let me pull mine up. Okay, so mine is Key Energy files for Chapter 11 after striking resurrecting deal. Okay, so this, my explanation, whatever I guess, says this article explains that Key Energy filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Key Energy first got its creditor support with this resurrection deal regarding its debt. Its debt will be cut back from $1 billion to $250 million. So that was my example. So
I think all of those look good.
yeah. Brittany, I really liked yours. You actually.
What? Sorry.
Brittany, we liked yours. I liked yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me send it to you guys real quick. Oh, sorry. Have to pull it up again here.
Okay.
There's the whole thing.
Okay, so an explanation of that would be.
It was a lot of information when I was writing it, so I tried to sum it up the best way possible. But basically, like, other landlords stepped in to help Aeropostale just because they were about to be bought out by someone else. And so now they're in danger of being liquidated as well after they filed the Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Okay.
So I don't know if just that little more information helps at all.
Okay, so what was it, landlords helped?
Yeah, other landlords of other businesses within the mall. So like landlords of other mall retail stores or something like that.
Okay, they helped them with the bankruptcy, or what did they help them with?
They bought them out. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But they filed for bankruptcy after that happened.
Okay.
So obviously, like, they bought them out, but they still but they still filed for bankruptcy afterwards. So this was after that they were helped by the other landlords that they filed for bankruptcy.
Okay.
So by buying them out, they bought just like they bought out the company, or they bought out all their they liquidated them.
Like, they didn't buy out the company because Aeropostale, that's what's happening now. They're trying to get a turnaround strategy to keep their business open.
So did they like buy their debt or?
I think so. Let me go to the link real quick and see, because like they had talked about how they don't like to see any store owner go into debt or be liquidated. So, and I think that's why they stepped in there to help them. So let me look up the article one more time. Sorry, it's making me log into the Wall Street Journal. Okay. So all it says, so the people who kind of bailed them out, it was Simon and General Growth, and it said they saw value in keeping afloat Aeropostale, which had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in May, and later faced the threat of liquidation. What I've read so far is just that they valued Aeropostale, and so that's why it doesn't say, let me see. Said they were part of a auction last week to purchase teen apparel retailer Aeropostale, an unusual move in which shopping center landlords stepped in to rescue a tenant to preserve the tenant's business. So I don't know if it's just like they out-auctioned them, but it didn't change the retail store or anything because it's still Aeropostale.
Yeah, so it sounds like they just like bought their debt that way because
Yeah.
I think they like, with Chapter 11, if their creditors agree and they're like, oh yeah, we'll cut it down as long as you do this, whatever.
Right.
So I think it sounds like they bought their debt. Okay. So for the explanation, then I have the other landlords of another mall retail stores bought the debt of Aeropostale to help them out, and then Aeropostale filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They did this so they wouldn't have to liquidate the company. Is that a good explanation?
Yeah, but I think they're being liquidated on top of filing for bankruptcy. Does that make sense? So it's not like
they're also liquidating. So they're doing Chapter 11 and Chapter 6. Was it 6?
Well, because it said, I'll read you what it says here. Because it says they had filed under Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in May and later faced the threat of liquidation. So they didn't do Chapter 11 in order to avoid liquidation because it says later that they faced the threat of liquidation. Does that make sense?
Okay. So
what do you think, Michelle and Will? Is that confusing?
Well, it's just hard. So it's basically just that specific store.
Yes, so it's just Aeropostale, but it looks like other landlords from different retailers stepped in, like Susie said, just to buy off their debt, I believe.
Okay. So they didn't have, but they still filed Chapter 11, and then they were still facing the Chapter 7 liquidation because it still didn't, like, it was kind of like a Band-Aid.
Yes.
That's just, I'm just confused on who bought what. Like, obviously they didn't buy the company, And was it just a specific store, or was it like
The
a
brand.
right? Because it is, I mean, what you wrote sounds like the landlord of other stores, so the landlord of the mall?
No. Like landlords of other stores. I believe. Let me read this again. Oh, it looks like the reason. Let's see. You know what? I think you're right, Michelle. I think it is landlords of the entire mall. So let me just read you right here. When retailers file for bankruptcy and are liquidated, landlords are vulnerable to vacancies and undesirable situations where the tenant might stay open for a prolonged period to sell downed inventory. Landlords don't like to see going out of business sale signs on the windows and fear being struck with blighted space. So I think you're right. It's the landlords of the mall that kind of bottom out, so they wouldn't have to deal with them going out of business and them having to deal with, the vacant space.
Right. So that they helped just one particular store to stay, but in the end, it didn't help Aeropostale, the business.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Now that's very clear. That makes complete sense.
Okay. Oh, thanks for clarifying that.
Well, I was just trying to figure it out because I wasn't like, was it like in a big business office? But
Yeah.
as you said that it didn't, they in the end they still had a file because just that one store didn't make a difference. It just made a difference to that mall.
Right.
So it must have paid their rent. It must have paid their electricity, is what I'm thinking, just to keep them open.
So does that make sense as an explanation, Susie? Because I mean, that clears it up for me at least.
Okay, so she said, what did she say? That the landlord of the mall bought Aeropostale.
Just, they actually helped them pay the debt it seems like they helped them just so they could stay open within that location.
No, okay.
But in the end, Aeropostale, the business, still had to file bankruptcy because the help to that one store didn't make
Okay.
a difference.
You could say like it didn't help the entire Aeropostale Corporation.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. And it seems like not only will they have to file Chapter 11, but Chapter 7 is the liquidation.
Okay. Keep the store open. Okay. So, okay, our quiz question, and Will had an idea for that. If we take out like Chapter 11, because in here we say that they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. But if we take out like the Chapter 11, if we just say Aeropostale filed for bankruptcy in May and later faced threats of liquidation. Ooh.
I think that's a good question, except if you look up like the definition of Chapter 11, I don't think that would give any indication of this case. I guess like reading this case, I wouldn't necessarily think it was Chapter 11, except for it said Chapter 11. Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, Will, do you see like anything in the case that like really points out that it's a Chapter 11 bankruptcy? Because I guess when you look up Chapter 11 bankruptcy, it's about like having time to fix the company and like
Restructuring.
yeah, and so maybe I could add that to the description instead of saying they're creating a turnaround strategy, we could just say how they're trying to restructure the company, because that's basically the same thing, but maybe that'll help the students get an indication of how it's relating to Chapter 11.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, so yeah.
Instead of doing that, put restructuring in there, and then that could be one of our questions. Like, what type of bankruptcy should Aeropostale be filing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is our question,
Well, you have to change the wording that
Okay.
Brittany's taking
So-
out.
So we say, despite this risk, Aeropostale owners are trying to restructure the company. Is that
Maybe you could say like restructure the company's business practices or something like that.
okay? And so then our question is, this is what should,
Which bankruptcy code? Or
This is an example of blank bankruptcy code or something.
okay. So obviously our correct answer is Chapter 11, bankruptcy. And the correct feedback for that would be they're trying to reorganize their company to keep it open. So they're trying to cut their debt so they can reorganize the company, or how do we want to word that?
Chapter 11 is mainly intended to allow ongoing businesses to restructure their debts.
Okay. Okay, and then our first wrong answer, we
could do 7.
7, okay. Chapter.
What's the one that has liquidation in it, number 6?
I have it. I thought it was number 7, but it could be 6.
Oh. Oh, if that's the one you're thinking of, then yeah,
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure which one it was.
Okay, so Chapter 7 is they're not liquidating their company.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Chapter 7, well, you could just give an explanation of what Chapter 7 is. And this is where the trustee sells the debtor's non-exempt property, and the proceeds are given to the creditors.
So the trustees are not selling what property?
They're selling the debtor's property. Non-exempt property is what it says.
All right. Okay, so our next wrong answer.
Well, we could do Chapter 13.
Okay, so Chapter 13. Okay, and that one's definition is,
Where the debtor files for payment plans
okay,
and continuing for up to 5 years. I mean, that has nothing to do with this, so that would definitely be wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, William's back again. It's William. I think we can hear you.
We can.
Okay, so you can hear me on my.
All right, yeah.
Yay! Good work, Will.
Are you on your phone or on your computer?
This is my phone.
I'm telling you, have a bug on. You have a virus on your computer.
You think?
I took it in, and they said that with one of the Windows updates, not everybody gets it, but there's a virus and it turns off your recording device, and they don't know how to fix it.
Mine's a Mac.
I don't know, but that's what I'm telling you. So you might want to take it back to your computer place.
Will, are you at BYU Idaho?
Yeah, I am.
They have a place that you can take your computer for free, and they'll tell you what's wrong with it, and if they can fix it, they'll fix it.
Yeah, that's right. I need to take it there. So weird. But
Maybe just see if that's what it is.
yeah, for sure. Oh, cool. At least the phone works, I guess.
Yeah, but then I don't think we can type. We can't type messages or see messages that are typed when you're on your phone or your iPad.
No,
Yeah.
you can't. That's interesting. Maybe I'll be on board.
Yep.
Okay, so we only have one more wrong answer to fill out, and it's feedback, and then we're done.
Hey, how about a wrong answer can be the landlord can now sue Aeropostale for the death on. Something.
I would really stink if that was true.
Yeah.
But something to that effect that because Aeropostale had to file bankruptcy, the landlord has the right to sue or something. I don't know.
Maybe you could say that like Aeropostale signed an agreement to stay in the mall with their store for a certain amount of time, and since they're filing for bankruptcy, they're breaking their contract. I don't know. Is that getting way too deep into something?
No, but we just have a simple. Go ahead.
What's the question again?
Oh no, we were just filling in the blank for bankruptcy. We just need to make up a number.
Yeah, okay, so this is an example of blank bankruptcy code. So,
Oh.
3 in chapter 11.
um,
Do all the different whatever the chapters are, and then they figure out which one's pick one.
Well, we've done 7, 11, and 13 because ones that are covered in the books.
yeah.
Chapter 5.
Wasn't there like chapter 12 that was like that farmer one that it talked like 2 seconds about? The video did, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see.
I haven't even watched the video yet.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
You can make up a bogus one too.
right. So,
Like chapter 16 or something.
Throw in a random number.
is there a bankruptcy code number 1?
I don't know. Let's put chapter 1. That works.
11 and 12 and 9.
Maybe we could put one that doesn't even exist. Maybe it would still throw someone off.
There's a chapter 12. Do we have a chapter 12 down?
No, we don't have chapter 12. That's that
Also-
farmer one, isn't it? The chapter 12?
Chapter 12 and chapter. I don't think they're in the book, but I just googled it, and there's a chapter 12 and chapter 9, so you could put those in there.
Okay. So we'll put chapter 12, I guess. Does that work? Anyone
Yeah.
Sure.
care?
What to do with Will?
All right. All right. So chapter 12. The wrong answer is that. What is actually chapter 12? What one is chapter?
Chapter 12 is adjustments of debts of a family farmer with regular income.
Okay. Well, Aeropostale has nothing to do with farming. That's the explanation for that one,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Works.
All right. So that's it then.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the broadcast then.